Ladies and gentlemen, a special master has been appointed by a judge. Trump got a very favorable ruling. We'll talk about that, to review the documents taken from him by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and Department of Justice. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen, to my super chat. I cannot thank you enough. Very huge day for the former president, and we will talk about why this is very important. Eric, everybody here, Henry Mann, hello, Kristen, hello, everybody. And let's just read this CNBC article. So, to my super chat, I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, thank you for getting H.A. Goodman's other channel over 20,000 subs, and the Stock Market Crash channel over 5,000 subs. We are almost at 200,000 plus subs. We're going to zoom by that number, I think by the end of this month, actually. But it's because of you. To my super chat again, thank you. If you want to talk about anything, especially this favorable ruling, that actually is really a defeat for the Department of Justice in a number of ways. Give me your thoughts. They have nothing to indict him on. Otherwise, they would have already indicted him. However, after midterms, they might very well do that. They might lose a court trial. I spoke about that today. And I also discussed today, it's now over, 10, 11,000 views, a segment about Trump planting just empty folders, an empty safe. The possibility of that taking place. The fact that Michael Wolff, a former, the journalist and author Michael Wolff, said, oh, you know what? Trump told him that he was expecting a raid by the U.S. government into Mar-a-Lago. He was expecting them to do that. So you could put two and two together. I think that Trump is a lot smarter than people give him credit for. He already defeated Clinton. He's already a president for 4 years. Okay, he defeated an entire political establishment. But anyway, we'll get to all of that. It's possible that he knew, and that it's some kind of long-term strategy, which we'll get into. But judge authorized the special master to review Trump Mar-a-Lago raid documents. Temporarily blocks DOJ from using records for probe. This is absolutely huge, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely huge. And it's important for a number of reasons we're going to read right now. This is a CNBC article. A federal judge authorized the appointment of a special master to review records seized from President Donald Trump's Florida residence by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in a raid last month. The independent third party will examine the seized property for personal items and documents and potentially privileged material subject to claims of attorney-client and or executive privilege, the judge wrote. Isn't that interesting how Trump has to deal with this and nobody else does? Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting how you can just go ahead into Mar-a-Lago and say, oh yeah, we need all of these documents, even though we've been negotiating with this man for about a year and a half. And he already returned 15 boxes. And by the way, the Presidential Records Act doesn't even have an enforcement mechanism. Isn't that interesting? So you're trying to get this man as if he were just, a government employee and not the President of the United States of America, with access to the highest level intelligence at all times. And when they say, well, he's not a president anymore. Okay, the Presidential Records Act doesn't have any enforcement mechanism. So now what are you going to do? That they might, like I said, they might actually indict him eventually, but that would help him in a way, in numerous ways. Trump had asked for a special master to be appointed weeks after the August 8th raid of his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach. And the search found more than 10,000 government documents, a number of which were highly classified. Then you have the issue of this photo, but security footage, they're going to find out if anybody at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, if anyone at the Federal Bureau of Investigation did not abide by protocol, if they added any documents, if anyone added any evidence or documents or tried to do something that wasn't what they were supposed to do in terms of protocol, they're on tape. They also visited Trump in June, by the way. There's a June meeting that people don't really, nobody in media is talking about this because it undermines the absurd narrative that this man is this criminal mastermind. In June, the Federal Bureau of Investigation already visited Mar-a-Lago. Okay? In June, they told him he needed a new lock. Okay? Eddie, hello. Tammy, hello. In June, they told him that he needed a new lock to store the documents. Okay, that they had already visited Mar-a-Lago. This is not rocket science, and this is not like Trump is not the orange Al Capone. You have Hunter and Hillary that actually committed crimes. You can't, and I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024, but you can't siphon classified data onto servers outside of the United States government. You can't siphon and transfer top secret and special access program intelligence outside of the United States government onto servers for 4 years. Okay? That is just not going to fly in any country, but like they say, only in America. So Comey stated, although there's potential violations, although there's evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified data, I think I remember it verbatim, no reasonable prosecutor would indict. Okay, you didn't get a special master with Clinton because, by the way, nobody in the U.S. government took possession of all of her emails. She gave servers completely wiped clean. The servers she gave were completely wiped clean, and then she said, "You mean with a cloth?" So, it's pretty unbelievable what Trump has to deal with. See, the Bureau goes after Trump, but they're literally getting servers and computer hardware from Clinton that had nothing on them. Everything was deleted, ladies and gentlemen. Every single thing that Clinton's campaign gave to the Federal Bureau of Investigation was completely deleted. And then, of course, that's obstruction of justice, but not for a Democrat. Then you have Hunter and emails in the New York Post and the Daily Mail that are clear violations of the law. I mean, graft and bribery schemes, and you have Joe, mashed potato brains, who lied. You have Joe who lied about meeting Hunter's business associates numerous times. So, let's continue reading. A federal judge on Monday authorized the appointment of a special master to review records from former President Donald Trump's Florida residence by the FBI in a raid last month, a move that had been sought by his lawyers. The judge at the same time temporarily blocked the Department of Justice from reviewing or using the seized material for investigative purposes. This is huge, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely huge, okay? Because you have to understand something. The fact that we don't know why, we don't truly know why he's being investigated, okay? We still, even the search warrant said, well, he had classified he had documents he shouldn't have been in possession of. But he's a former president. It wouldn't take much. This is why I'm sitting on the fence in terms of, yes, they don't have a case on him, but that doesn't mean they won't indict him. They don't have a case, but that doesn't mean they won't indict him. That's the point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen. That's the point I've been trying to make for a while. They don't really have a case on this man. They never did, okay? They never had a case on this man. But see, again, they set him up and framed him. They set up and framed an innocent man. Trump, you might not like his personality. You might not like his record highs in income. We had record highs in household median income, a record low in poverty. There is no rebuttal to that from an economic standpoint. You can't say anything that could defeat that argument or refute that. What are you going to say? Well, you know what? Now we have 9% inflation. We had 2% inflation? Little over 2% inflation when Trump was in 2019 with Trump. So what is the rebuttal? There's just literally no rebuttal at all. There's no rebuttal at all. People vote for Trump because they want a good economy. They want a good foreign policy. We have an invasion in Europe, a terrible, terrible invasion in Europe. And then when you call out anyone, you say, look, why did this happen under Mashed Potato Brains Joe? They said, oh, well, because, they were getting what they wanted with Trump. What are you talking about? What does that even mean? They don't even make any more sense anymore. They were getting what they wanted with Trump, so you know what? They didn't really have to invade. Really? How does that work? How does that even work? But anyway, the DOJ is now blocked. So the judge at the same time temporarily blocked the Department of Justice from reviewing or using the seized material for investigative purposes until a special master's examination of documents is completed or until a further court order. Why would you need a special master? Why would these people have taken attorney-client privilege? Because in their minds, Trump is capable of any criminal crime. So, if, for example, they got documents that showed he was, part of this scheme, this criminal mastermind, Paul Bartlett. Thank you, Paul. Thank you to my Australian crew. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so very much always for your support. Thank you, Paul. I hope all is well. To my Australian crew, thank you. To my viewers in Australia and around the world, in the UK, around the world, thank you so very, very much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. I was going to say Australia. Paul Bartlett, thank you so very, very much. But to my super chat, thank you so much. I can't do these without you, ladies and gentlemen. The independent third party will examine the seized property for personal items and documents and potentially privileged material subject to claims of attorney-client privilege and or executive privilege. So executive privilege, that's huge. That is a huge, you have to understand, they are now entering a realm where fewer and fewer people, we have entered a point of diminishing returns for the Democratic Party. Diminishing returns. There's only so much they can obsess over Trump. Because the more they obsess over Trump, the less they're talking about all the problems they've caused. Food prices are skyrocketing really quickly. Trump gets a huge victory. This is CNN, but we can see how CNN is just... But even CNN, food prices are skyrocketing. It's not just because of inflation. Okay, let's just look. CNN will not blame Biden for this, although we're going into his third year. Of course it's his policies. And inflation is not slowing. You say that inflation is slowing. It's well, you had a momentary drop in oil prices. Other than that, you have food prices going way up. Okay, they're still sky high, and they're actually increasing. Lion Dog Face Pony Soldier, thank you. Thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. Thank you. Pony Soldier, thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated. I hope everybody had a great Labor Day, everyone. Crazy Oliver, hello. Thank you. Pony Soldier, thank you so much. I can't do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. To my super chat. The prices of over the past 12 months, grocery prices have soared 13%. It's actually, I'm sure, when you go to the supermarket, you are spending a lot more than 13%. It feels like 30 to 50% more, or about 40% more. That's what it feels like. The largest annual increase since the year end in March 1970. The largest annual increase since the year ending in March 1979. We had record-breaking economic numbers under Trump, and in 2019, before Democrats and bureaucrats and multinational organizations and and gleeful, malicious, apoplectic, borderline hysterical media, wonderful bureaucrats, the highly educated. Before his last year in office, we had an economy running on all cylinders. Trump, people vote for Trump because they want a great economy. They want a great foreign policy. We had numerous achievements: Doha Agreement, Abraham Accords, first president to step foot in North Korea. He didn't send hundreds of billions of dollars to an invaded country under his watch. Okay? And you have to ask yourself, what's the point of spending hundreds of billions of dollars when you are not assured and you're not helping militarily in any way, and you have a gigantic alliance and they're not doing anything militarily except just sending money. And there's no emphasis on reaching some kind of peace deal, some kind of negotiated deal. Okay? I mean, it's unbelievable. Laughing dog, thank you. It's unbelievable. But you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where you can have food prices soaring. Okay? You could have homelessness, crime, and then every article is, crime's not really that bad. It's like, oh my God. They slice and dice these statistics, and it's like, you can have, I don't even want to get into it because it's now meandering off into another issue, but if you have a state, a blue state, where urban centers see crime rising by 100, 200%, okay? But the surrounding areas, or, areas that are less densely populated, crime decreases a bit, okay? But you have, like, atrocities and things you've never seen before taking place and more people losing their lives. And you average the entire blue state, and you look and say, well, crime is only up. Even the worst type of crime is only up by 5%. And it's like, well, but it was up by 50 or 60 or 70% in the major urban areas. And then down in areas of maybe throughout the state that didn't really have a crime problem to begin with. So they slice and dice statistics to the point of madness, and they've done this always. They always do this. But anyway, the cost of eggs has soared 38%. Here's why you have a problem here. When they say grocery prices have soared 13%, they're probably talking about every single grocery item. But not everybody goes ahead and buys, like, not everybody buys, I don't know, popcorn, for example. Popcorn is not, like, the most important thing that people buy. But that's, all the hundreds and hundreds of items, when grocery prices soar 31%, everyone buys eggs, okay? Flour, chicken, milks, 15.6%. I mean, so you're looking at ground beef, 9.7%, bacon, 9.2%, fruits and vegetables, 9.3%. But you're looking at beef is way more than 9%. But anyway, you look and it's like eggs 38% more. You're going to be spending a lot more. Testing 27.41. Just spent $72 on food 20 minutes ago. Used to cost $40. Exactly. Testing 27.41. Thank you. I mean, that's the case. You look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Inflation is only going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen. Mafeels, Christopher Hitchens, yes. Wish Hitchens was around to give his take on the past 5 years would be glorious. Mafeels, it would be glorious. He was an inspiration to me. He would be viewed today as a demagogue. They would try to cancel him and silence him. They couldn't. This world today with the the sensibilities of morally superior, apoplectic liberals, wonderful, highly educated, almost always hysterical, but experts and bureaucrats and wonderful, highly educated liberals would view him as like this, just horrible monster, a terrible person, because he wouldn't care. And the thing with, Jordan Peterson is fantastic, and Ben Shapiro's fantastic, and but nobody had the charisma of Christopher Hitchens, and he started his life, I believe, as a socialist or on the far left. And he was a socialist maybe for a second in college. But he was amazing. And I don't know if he would love Trump. He might not like Trump's personality, but he would definitely like Trump's policies a lot more so than the Democratic Party's policies. He would be looking at inflation, and he would be looking at the economy. He'd be looking at Joe, mashed potato brains Joe with a red background, and saying, my God, what a cheap theatrical performance by a person that almost certainly committed crimes along with Hunter. Steelers freak! Mafeels, thank you so very much. Steelers freak, thank you. Thank you so much, Steelers freak. I was watching the Immaculate Reception documentary on the NFL network. I have like a million, DVDs, like documentaries. The NFL network, where NFL DVDs, and it was like, it hurts because I'm a Raider fan, but when Franco Harris caught that ball, oh my God. But that was an amazing play. That's like a metaphor for life. Almost. Also, you just never know. You never know when you can win. When things look their worst, you can always find a way to either get out of the situation or make the situation infinitely better or win. Steelers freak, thank you. Mafeels, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you look, Steelers freak and Mafeels, Christopher Hitchens would be viewed as they would try to cancel him just the way they've canceled people, oh, nice, Steelers freak, thank you. Nice. Yeah, they should be good this year. Raiders should be good this year. I think they'll have a good year. I'm hoping for a really good year. This is going to be an interesting year. This is actually the first year I'm playing fantasy football in like 10 years. Devontae Adams is going to have a great year. So he's going to have a great, great year for the Raiders. I think that he'll have an amazing, amazing, amazing year for the Raiders. Lisa, hello. Thank you, Steelers freak. Mafeels, thank you so much. But you look, it's like, well, what do they have? They don't have anything else. What do they have? We're going into November, ladies and gentlemen, with an economy that is not doing well. And you have to understand when, like, you hear like Democrats, they say, well, or media, they say, well, you know what, things are getting better. It's like, they're not really getting better. If you have inflation subsiding, okay, and you have inflation at around 8.5%, and you have job numbers that are pretty good job numbers, but the thing is, you have to take into account that it's been 2 years. We had the same job numbers 2+ years ago, before Democrats and the morally superior among us and the highly educated tanked the U.S. economy. We now have a huge problem with an economic catastrophe on the horizon, with interest rates going up in the manner they're going up, and the fact that there hasn't been a stock market, like there's been a collapse and a crash and a recession that I predicted that in October of 2021 and September of 2021. Watch the playlist. But the fact that there hasn't been yet, unfortunately there will, this cataclysmic crash. JG, hello! Hello, JG, I hope all is well. That's actually not a good thing in a way, because you have the Fed that helped create this inflation by pumping all this money into the economy. You have the Fed, $1 out of $5 was created by the Federal Reserve, according to one report. But the Fed, with all this monetary easing, quantitative easing, and you have them now raising interest rates during a recession. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense at all? How do you do that? Testing. 2741. That's right. Only reason oil drop is depleted strategic petroleum reserve. That's right. He's flooding the country full of strategic petroleum reserves. He's flooding the country full of strategic petroleum reserves. And then he said, oh, you know what? This is fantastic. It's like, well, if you didn't do that, what do you think would happen? If he continued with his policy of, if he continued with his policy of flooding, preventing oil companies from drilling on federal lands. So he started with that policy, and it takes like the lead times for oil and gas companies to find oil on federal lands could be 1 to 3 years or longer. So he sets them back 1 year plus. Then he reverses that policy. Then he floods strategic petroleum reserves, and then he then gets sued by environmental groups. Here. So let's see. Biden sued environmental groups. So environmental groups sued Biden to block 3,500 oil and gas drilling permits. It's like they just want the economy to tank. It's like their life's mission. Because you're talking about people who, they truly believe that if we don't transform the economy immediately, and you have a huge problem in Europe. You can't transform economies based on fossil fuels. Within the span of a year or 2 years, you're going to have, look what happened in Sri Lanka. Look what's happening around the world. You impose certain green policies, and it completely obliterates the economy. And so that's why Biden is actually flooding strategic petroleum reserves, and environmental groups are suing Biden now. So he got sued by oil and gas groups. Now he's getting sued by environmental groups. So it's like he doesn't really have any policies that work. He has policies that pander to very loud, influential voices within the Democratic Party. You can't, climate change is an important issue. It really is. But it's an issue that doesn't, we need urgency. It's like, no, you can't transform an economy based on fossil fuels into renewables immediately. Because renewables are a very small percentage of the U.S. economy. Maybe 10 to 15, not even 15%, like 12%. There was an article I was reading that renewables are even less, even a smaller percentage of energy in the U.S. economy than one thinks. Like the numbers that you hear, It's actually less than that. They power less of the U.S. economy than the official numbers. But you look, oil prices continue to go up, and a number of factors have contributed to the rise in food costs. Okay, demand for grocery grows. I'm like, the main reason is oil prices are going up, or oil prices have gone up. And diesel prices are at, diesel prices directly correlate to the price of food in stores, in supermarkets, and grocery stores. All the food from co-packers and from farms and from, all the food that gets transported to grocery stores and supermarkets are transported on trucks that run on diesel fuel. And diesel fuel is through the roof. The Fed believes that food and energy are influenced by global commodity prices. Isn't they always get away? It's like hilarious. In a way that tells them, hey, these items aren't really directly under your control. You know what? It's like they just never accept responsibility for, it's always Trump's fault. But getting back to Trump, raided safe was empty, Eric Trump says. FBI agents broke into former President Donald Trump's empty safe and his Mar-a-Lago residence. Why on earth? Who keeps an empty safe? Maybe somebody who's basically is daring people to indict him. I think that you're going to have... Here's why I think that he might... I think that President Trump knows very well that they're desperate. They don't have anything else. You have food prices soaring. We're in a recession. We have a contracting economy. We have real wages. People are actually losing money on their paycheck because of inflation. So if you say, well, salaries and wages are going up, that's inflation is cutting into that. So they're really not making money. They're losing money. They're losing about 4.4%. You know what the knock on Trump was? The knock on Trump was that, wages are up, but real wages aren't up that much. Everything is like real wages aren't up that much, and so that means that you shouldn't vote for Trump. But real wages are down 4.4%, so therefore that's good. That's good somehow that you should vote Democrat. Nico Hammer, thank you. Hi, HA. Much love from Australia. We paid $2.20. Wow. Leader here for diesel. Wow. Yeah, and Nico, thank you so very much. Thank you, Nico. Greatly appreciated. Wow. I mean, it was approaching that with diesel costs. You can't transform an economy the global economy runs on fossil fuels, oil and gas. They keep saying, like, Nico Hammer, I don't know what the push is in Australia for electric vehicles, but I wrote an article in the Federalist it was my first article in the Federalist a couple of years back, and it was about nickel, cobalt, lithium, all the metals needed for electric car vehicle batteries to run. These metals are mined in the Congo, in places throughout the countries throughout the world where there's geopolitical problems because of these precious commodities, these natural resources. And the mining process is devastating for communities, and it's not a green process. People risk their lives in the Congo and other parts of the world. They risk their lives to get these precious metals. And so then you have these car batteries that run on resources that are now that if you look at China and another country that invaded a country in Europe, they are now they've been on this quest to control the global supply of all these commodities. And then you have, oh, by the way, uranium that one country controls. Oh, conveniently enough, they had a pretty big purchase of uranium years back when President Obama was president. Gee, what a coincidence that was with Clinton and the foundation. That was a coincidence. But Paul Bartlett, thank you. Nico Hammer, thank you so very much. Nico! We can't even buy an EV. It's a 2-year wait. Wow. And then want us to go Illyria by 2030. I can't see it. Yeah, I can't see that either. Wow. Thank you, Nico. Yeah, I mean, you see this in Southern California, and you see this in California, like you'll see now you'll see maybe, 2 to 20 electric car vehicle, stations. It's like, well, why am I'm supposed to wait? I mean, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's more than that, but 5 to 10 minutes, just sit there waiting. And it's like, especially when crime is soaring, and if you have to, you have to, let's say at night you needed to charge your electric car vehicle. You're supposed to wait there for 10 minutes or so. Nico Hammer, thank you so very much. I think it's even longer than that. Nico, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, the electric car vehicle is not as green as people think it is. And then you have the issue of, well, where do these batteries, these old batteries, what happens? In old solar panels, okay? Not to mention the hundreds of, billions of things that people put on their faces the past 2 years. Where do they go? Oh, that's right, the ocean. Isn't that interesting? Nico, thank you so very much. I'm going to look up this. How long charge public Tesla? So, you're looking at a pretty long time to charge. Let's see. I'm trying to look it up on my phone. Hold on. So, but you have the question. It's not just that. It's like you're doing all of this in such a apoplectic manner. Lou Maldonado! Lou, thank you. Exactly. Paul Bartlett. 80 to 90% of electric power comes from fossil fuels anyway. Natural gas. Natural gas and nuclear power, but natural gas being 60 to 70%. So you're not doing it. I mean, I don't understand. If you want to say, well, it's better for the environment, is that, it could be just marginally better when you take into account the natural gas used to operate electric power plants, the fossil fuels used to fuel electric power plants, but also to generate electricity. But also you have the issue of what happens to the electric car vehicle batteries and the solar panels. Testing 2741. Scary that Europe. Oh, much more. Winter's coming. It's going to be it's unfortunately going to be a tough winter. They did this to themselves. They did away with, some countries have done away with nuclear power. So Lou Maldonado, thank you. Nico Hammer, thank you. Hold on, what? Let's see. Trying to find out how long. Electric vehicle charging stations, okay. How long does it take? Learn more. It just you can never get a clear-cut answer on anything. It's amazing. All right, hold on. Let me see. Real quick, I'll just get you this answer. You will not get, I swear to God, you will not. Electric vehicle charging time could fall to 10 minutes within 5 years. Okay. So you're looking at 15 minutes or so. I'd say 15 minutes or so. But it's like, how convenient is that for society? How convenient is that for society? It's not very convenient at all. I don't really see like, and the thing is, like, you don't get anybody telling you this. You will definitely save the planet. It's always like, we have to do something, and you know what? I think that it's probably going to be, probably will save the planet. We don't know. But yeah, so would I. I agree with you. So Eric Trump told Fox News that he got a call about the raid and informed his father about the search. He said that more than 30 agents gave absolutely no notice before they started ransacking the office, ransacking clock, and broke into his safe. Trump and his father didn't even have anything in the safe. Former president said agents also broke into his safe, according to a statement, but did not disclose the contents of the safe. So it's like, you gotta believe that Trump knows. Here's the thing. He knows that eventually the possibility exists. Nico, thank you so very much as always. And Lou Maldonado, thank you. The possibility exists that, in testing 2741, thank you. The possibility exists that Rehoboth Farms, thank you. What about line loss? About half the power's lost in transmission. Wow. Love trucks, hello. And coal, that's right. Coal and natural gas, that's right. That's right. You have to think that he understands that he's going to probably get indicted because Biden's going to get impeached. The impeachment of Joe will be absolutely hilarious because what'll happen is you will have a steady stream of terrible news pertaining to Hunter and Joe and meetings and clear violations of the law and graft and bribery. You're going to have a huge, you're going to have investigations in the House, the House Intel, House Judiciary, House Oversight Committees. Testing 2741, car and driver. If a car has a 10 kilowatt charger and 100 kilowatt battery pack, it would, in theory, take 10 hours to charge a fully depleted battery. I mean, it's like, thank you, testing 2741. Thank you, I appreciate that very much. You don't have 10 hours. It's like, I understand it's not, people say, well, it's not that big of a deal. You're going to, you know what, you go home and you're saving money on gas, but it's like, people enjoy cars also because they're able to refuel them away from home. So that's one of the, I'd say the advantages. I don't know how, I don't know how much, how many years are you adding to the lifespan of this planet by driving a Tesla? I don't know if anybody can answer that question. And then the only answer will be, oh my God, you're missing the whole point. You're missing the whole point. It's like, no. Answer that question. Thank you, by the way, for that. Thank you, testing 2741. So, exactly, Rehoboth Farm. Then you have the electric grid. Testing 2741. You have the electric grid that in California and Texas and other parts of the country just will not. It won't be able to take all that. But you have to ask yourself in testing 2741. Thank you. How do you? I know that's true. Startled mouse. That's true. How do you go ahead? How do you go ahead and you're going to have a House that is Trump Republican. Democrats are presiding over a catastrophe in terms of the economy. The economy is going to get worse, unfortunately. And it's like you're going to have an impeachment, a terrible economy, the Durham probe that's going to get a conviction next month, with more indictments in the Durham probe special counsel. The special counsel will actually expand. What do you have as a political party? How many times can you say Trump is a menace to democracy? How many times can you say Trump is a menace? Nobody cares anymore. This is a vapid, stupid opinion. He's a menace to democracy. Why do you say that? Oh, because he doesn't accept things. Like, well, you didn't accept Trump defeating Clinton. Yvette Moore! Yvette, hello! Hello, HJ and fellow peasants. How's the unity? And why does Joe keep screaming? Come on, man. Hey, now, come on, man. Yvette, thank you. I don't know. You know what the problem is? They have nothing, so they have to continually revert back to. They have to continually fall back upon their sensibilities, their morally superior sensibilities, and this is the problem. Thank you, Yvette. Thank you so very much. I'm trying to find out how long it takes to charge in the public charging station. How long does it take to charge public EV charging station? Charge in minutes, not hours. EV station near me. How many minutes? It will not tell you. It's impossible to find out. So I just the public stations. So it's not even in one of like the quick searches here. 10 minutes. Okay. So let's say around 10 minutes. Okay, Betsy, thank you. Let's say around 10 minutes. Yvette, do you have time? Do we have time on those public stations to charge for 10 minutes? You spent 10 minutes? I don't get it. Yvette, thank you so very much. Thank you as always for your support. I appreciate it greatly. It's like, especially at night. It's so inconvenient. EV charges for public is 10 to 30. Startled mouse, thank you. 10 to 30 minutes. And then you have millions upon millions. They want everyone on the road. You're talking about millions upon millions of people in major cities. I'm supposed to wait 10 minutes so I can get, so I could, be in a vulnerable situation in the evening, at night, 10 minutes just standing outside your car for 10 minutes. And people say, oh, that's not that big of a deal to save the planet. It's like, well, how do you know this is the thing. Give me a guarantee. And then I'll be like, oh, no problem. Give me a guarantee that this will say. Here's the problem. You've entered religion mode. The difference, though, is that there's a logical and rational case that God exists. The rational and logical case that everyone needs to buy an electric car vehicle to save the planet doesn't really exist. Capsule, probably. I see them throughout the city I live in, and in Southern California, and it's interesting. It's like Yvette Moore. I guarantee this isn't going to... It's true. It's not going to work. Thank you for being a member 10 months. Thank you. It's not going to work. I agree with you. It's going to be the same thing that happened 2 years ago. You have to do this. You have to do this. You have to do that. If you don't do this, it's a big problem. It's a big problem if you don't do this. You do it for your family. Do it for Granny. Do it for Granny. If it's not a Grandma. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Who remembers that song? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do it. No, you gotta do it. Everybody's doing it. All the cool people are doing it. That's how they roll. That's how they run things. That's how they run things. Everyone has to do the same thing at all times. All times. If they don't do it, it's a big problem. And the thing is, like, climate change is very important. Yeah, you don't transform the economy in 1 year. You don't do it in 1 year. Even 2 years. It takes probably 20, 30 years that you're really, like, you're transforming the economy. But Paul, thank you. Exactly, Peter. Exactly. Love trucks, yeah. Justin, hello. But I think that 2023 is going to be, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be, Lisa, exactly. 2023 is going to be one of the most interesting times in American politics. It's going to be one of the most interesting times in American politics, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to have an impeachment, a possible indictment. They're not going to be able to convict Trump, but oh my God, I have to do this. I do this every night. I think about 2 people enjoy this. JG, have you heard my romantic discussion between the morally superior liberal and the entity, the psychic creature called Trump contempt and disdain? It goes like this. Here's how it goes. Trump contempt and disdain. You told me he would be in prison now. I made you dinner. And I canceled plans with my friends to be with you, Trump disdain and contempt. And I haven't heard anything from you. You know how much I love you. I would never do anything to bother you or to hurt you. But you said that he would be in prison. We just raided Mar-a-Lago. That's right. The Federal Bureau of Investigation. Uh-huh. Oh my God, really? You mean the walls are closing in? Oh my God, thank you. You know you're my number one and I love you. You have just don't worry about anything. You know how much I care about you. Pretty soon he's going to get indicted. He's going to get indicted and he's going to go to prison. Really soon. Oh, yes. Talk to me. I love that. I love that. Tell me more. And Martians are going to come and take him and actually in a spaceship launch him away from this planet and solar system. Really? Yeah. Why don't you come over tonight? Okay. As long as Martians will come and pick up Trump and he'll never be here again. Never, ever, ever, ever. You promise? Because you promised for the past 6 years and nothing happened. I promise. Nothing to worry about. The walls are closing and the walls are closing in. I could do a better I could do a better scenario. If heaven forbid he eventually gets indicted, oh my God. Oh my God. I know I'll be getting text messages. Ha ha, Trump's indicted. Ha ha, yeah. Yeah, Trump's indicted. Yeah. It's it. Who are you going to vote for? Mitt Romney? You voting for Mitt Romney? No, I'm not voting for Mitt Romney, you imbecile. I would enjoy Liz Cheney if she was nominee losing to Mashed Potato Brains Joe. That would make me happy. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? They think that, like, Trump gets indicted and suddenly Liz Cheney is like, hi, everyone, I'm a good Republican. Vote for me. Boo. It still wouldn't work. Trump could run from Pelican Bay or Alcatraz, and he would still be a better choice. He would still be a better choice than Mashed Potato Brains Joe. And by the way, they would vote for Joe or Hillary if they were running prison gangs. So, like, all you'd hear is, you vote for an indicted Trump, he's indicted. Oh my God, he's indicted. Yeah, because of people who desperately want him out of the political scene. It has nothing to do. Love trucks. Thank you, Yvette. Thank you. It has nothing to do. 25 life for jaywalking. Yeah, it's pretty much what's gonna happen. They are obsessed. They are absolutely obsessed with Trump. My God, I have never seen anything like this. I have never, ever seen anything like this in my life. I have never seen anything like this in my life. Like, Hillary has servers. She has servers. Funnily siphoning top secret and special access program intelligence. My God. For 4 years, and I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. Okay? My God. And then Comey's like, gosh, there's no intent to hide in the secret servers that nobody knew about. Why were the servers secret? Let's start with just simple questions. What is intent to hide? Yes. It's intent to hide. That's why you have secret anything. That's why you would have secret anything. What are you doing with that secret safe? I thought we've been married for 60 years. You didn't tell me about it. There's no intent to hide. I just have money in case I have to leave you. Otherwise, there's no intent to hide. Hold on. I'm gonna get help. I have a problem. Yes, what is it? The Secretary of State had secret servers funneling top secret and special access program intelligence for 4 years. And the Federal Bureau of Investigation director stated that there was no intent to hide. Well, what's the problem? Well, I'm just wondering why she was above the law. There's no problem at all. It was about wedding planning and yoga. Haven't you done yoga? Not really. Maybe you should. Maybe you'd be a happier person. Okay, but why was there 30,000 deleted emails, and why didn't even President Obama not know of the servers? Oh, well, because, you know what? It was for convenience. You have major problems. You're obviously a Trumper. No, but, I mean, how did they siphon the classified data? How did classified data get onto servers outside of the United States government? How is that even possible from a cybersecurity perspective? Trump had 15 boxes! He had 15 boxes. Infinitely worse. He's not above the law. But what about Hunter and Hillary? Whataboutism? Whataboutism? It's called whataboutism. And Bernie Sanders wasn't cheated. Everything was fine. And Trump colluded with the Kremlin. The best is when you actually like don't ever debate anybody for the next 2 to 3 years. It's like you know the people who are still like kind of okay with you even though you vote for Trump. Don't bring up politics because they'll disown you too eventually. They're teetering. They're like, hey, should we be friends with this Trump supporter or not? I don't know. You could give a Democrat your kidney. You could give them like a kidney and they would still be like, you know what? You know, thanks for the kidney and all. And by the way, it wasn't a perfect fit, but fine. You know, it was your kidney. Thanks. But like, honestly, and that's all good. You know, yeah, heart transplant. You gave me your heart, you know, and that's actually functioning in my body now. And you don't have one. So I don't know how you're living. But you know what? Honestly, don't call me anymore. You're voting for Trump. You don't really need to call anymore. He's a menace to democracy. Joe Biden told me that with 2 Marines in the background and a red lighting. They will not accept. Look at it. They're going to get more frustrated because even if they do indict, exactly, Nevada. Even if they do indict Trump, it's only going to help him. which, Jean, hello, Gene. It's only going to frustrate them more because they're like they'll realize that, man, you know, it's not affecting Trump. Wow, Stephen, wow. Like their own brother. Oh my God. Oh, so terrible. How can you do that if you're family or friends? How can you do that? Unbelievable. That's like a character test right there. That's called, there's nothing, politics is below family or friendship. Your family and friendship bonds should be well above politics. If they're not, you have a major character flaw. Major character flaw. Exactly, Paul. They can't and won't convict. Exactly. At that point right there, if you are like, I've seen very, it's so bizarre too. It's always one way too. It's always the Democrat to, it's the Democrat disowning the Republican or the Trump supporter. It's not the Trump supporter. The Trump supporter doesn't care. The Trump supporter does not care. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, everybody. To my super chat, thank you. I'll have a live stream tomorrow evening also. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a great, I hope you had a great Labor Day. To my Australian viewers, Nico and Yvette and Paul and everybody here, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. To my super chat, I cannot do this without you. I really appreciate your support. I'll be seeing you tomorrow evening. Check out the uploads on this channel and also H.A. Goodman's other channel and the Stock Market Crash.